Hi guys, welcome back to day 3 of WITCHTEMBER vlogs. This is like my third time trying to record this because my cat knocked over something the first time. That was so loud. And then the second time my air conditioning turned on, which was also very loud. And now my cats have the zoomies and they're running around. So you might hear their little bells, but I have to work soon. I have to hop on and start working. So we're just gonna have to forge ahead. Okay, so how's everyone doing today? It is hump day. If you are a Monday through Friday warrior, we are halfway through the week. It's been a nice week because I also had Monday off. So it makes the week go by like a little faster. It's a little shorter, you know? Anyhow, today we are going to talk about the books that I've finished recently. Oh my gosh, my cats, like what are they doing? Brax! You guys, the stars are not aligned for me this morning, or the sun, or the whatever. The world is not aligned for me right now. My cats have the zoomies, are being so noisy. My AC keeps going on and off, which is super loud. So sorry about that. That's probably going to be in the background. And now the dogs outside, like in my neighborhood, everyone has a dog. They're all freaking out about something, so you might hear barking. I don't know what is going on today on the 3rd of WITCHTEMBER, but the show must go on. So here we are. I think I need a sip of my coffee. Okay, let's try to get into this. I don't have all day. I got the kids off to school. They're at school, doing good. I stayed up late last night finishing a book, par for the course. We're going to talk about the couple of books that I have finished in the last 2 days, as well as I got a little book mail yesterday. I'm going to show you guys, so that'll be really fun. And yeah, apparently my stomach is also growling right now. I just feel like for whatever reason, can you guys hear? Oh my gosh. What is happening? I'm going to sit down and have a nice cozy morning and chat with you all. And then like a million alarms go off. Like a million things are going off that are making so much noise, including my stomach. Anyway, here we go. I finished 2 books that we haven't talked about yet. The first one was The Witch Haven by Sasha Payton Smith. Oh no, you guys, I'm the worst. What's her name? Hey, what's going on? Are you gonna come see me? I was actually correct. Sasha Payton Smith. Now, what I didn't realize while I was reading it, but that I realized afterwards when I went to go do my review, is this is the same author who wrote The Rose Bargain that I read earlier this year that I really enjoyed. So I hadn't put 2 and 2 together until now. But let me tell you about The Witch Haven. I really enjoyed it. It is what I would consider more of like a middle fantasy. So I think there's different levels of fantasy, right? Like there's like kind of just magical realism, which is really basic. It usually takes place like in the real world where regular people, there's just like elements of magic, right? Somewhere in the story. But all in all, it's like very low fantasy. There's not a whole lot of like fantastical elements or magic that you have to wrap your brain around. And those are kind of like the books I've already talked about, like the cozy fantasies or like the witchy rom-coms with magical realism. Those are like the low fantasies, okay? And then we have what I consider like the middle grade fantasies, like medium level fantasies. And these are books that have more fantastical elements, have a lot more magic in them, but they're still very accessible. They're still pretty easy to wrap your mind around. The magic systems or the world is pretty easy to understand, but it takes a little more effort than like your cozy fantasy. Oh my gosh, you guys. Remember when I said that I was going to talk about 2 books that I read recently? We're only going to talk about one because I cannot even finish one sentence, it seems like, without getting interrupted this morning. Nothing is in my favor at the moment. So we're going to just try to get through this one book review, and I will save the other one for tomorrow. Anyhow, back to The Witch Haven. Not as simplistic as like some of the other books I've talked about this week, but it's still relatively easy to wrap your brain around. Okay, so in The Witch Haven, we are following our FMC. Her name is Frances. She is grieving the recent loss of her brother. And after the loss of her brother, her mother kind of like stopped functioning, like kind of her mental health just like went downhill. And her mother is now in a sanitarium, and Frances is working in like a warehouse as a seamstress. And right at the very beginning of the book, this is not a spoiler, this happens right at the very beginning of the book, there's a man at the warehouse who all of the girls hate. Like everyone's afraid of him. He's creepy. He assaults women, and Frances is working late to finish a sewing project. This guy comes in and he tries to assault her, and suddenly her magic manifests that she was unaware that she had. She ends up killing him with flying scissors, basically. Her seamstress, like scissors that are hers, she ends up wielding them in the air to stab the guy to save herself from the assault. The man ends up dying. And she is shocked because, one, she just killed a man. Two, she didn't know she had magic. So she's not sure what to do, but she ends up going to bed and is basically just kind of like waiting for people to figure it out and for her to be arrested. But instead, when the police come around and start sniffing around and trying to solve this murder, they recognize that it's her shears that are in this guy's body that he was killed with, but it doesn't necessarily mean she's the one that killed him. But the women, they're at the warehouse because they know of this guy's reputation. They're kind of protecting her or protecting whoever it is that killed him. And one of her supervisors basically says, like, we're better off without this guy. So get your story straight and I will support whatever story you come up with. So the police are investigating and she is sure that she is going to be arrested and, charged with the murder. When suddenly these women show up out of nowhere and say, hey, we got your tuberculosis test results and you are positive and we need to take you to the hospital right away and isolate you because we don't want to get other people sick. And she's like, what? Tuberculosis? Like what? And she's not really sure what's happening, but she kind of gets the wink wink from her supervisor and she kind of just goes along with it and is taken by these women out of the situation to like a school or like a convent basically, which is the witch haven, where all of these girls who have come into their magic for the first time and are learning that they are witches and learning how to use their magic are living at this witch haven and basically going to witch school, learning how to use their magic, how to control it so that they don't out themselves in society. At the same time, she's also trying to figure out what happened to her brother because she knows her brother was murdered and no one has ever solved it and she can't seem to get the help and support from the law enforcement that she needs. So she decides to take it into her own hands. And while she is trying to figure out what happened to her brother, she starts to uncover secrets about the witches and the witch haven, as well as this other group called the Sons, which are essentially male witches, or in the book, I think they're considered wizards. And she starts to uncover secrets and starts to unravel this history between the witches at the witch haven and the Sons, which are basically wizards at a different house. So it's like the men and the women who have this long-standing rivalry, but kind of like, sororities or brotherhoods, like Greek houses at a college. As she's investigating her brother's death, she runs into two of her brother's old friends who she hasn't seen really since her brother's death. And she discovers that her brother was actually one of the sons at the brotherhood mansion. This is something she never knew about him. And she's certain that this is related to his death. So as you can imagine, this is kind of like a witchy school setting with like a long-standing rivalry with like mysterious and suspenseful elements and a murder mystery, like all tied into one. I wasn't really sure when I started this book if it was a standalone or part of a series, and I just failed to get the information before I started the book. So I had kind of an open mind. I think it appears as though it's a duology. I could tell by the end. I wasn't really sure. You guys, my brain is not working this morning. I think I didn't sleep very well last night. And I think because of my ADHD and all of the bajillion distractions that I've had this morning and interruptions to filming, now I just can't even form cohesive thoughts. So we're going to keep this brief. I'm going to save my book haul for tomorrow because I actually have another book delivery coming today that I will share with you guys. But anyways, you guys are seeing in real time, in real life, what it's like for me to be neurodivergent, the chaos that is going on in my home sometimes on a daily basis, and how it can really be a struggle for me to just do simple things and function because interruptions can really derail me. And when you have 5 children, multiple pets, it is almost inevitable that you are going to be interrupted multiple times a day. So today you got an inside look at my hot mess and what I struggle with on a daily basis. Anyhow, I really enjoyed the Witch Haven. I would recommend it. It's got all the witchy vibes. It's academic type of setting because they're in these it's like secret boarding schools for magic magical beings. And it's the beginning of September right now, so it's right in the middle of like back to school time. Definitely associate back to school with fall. And so this book gives off all of those same kind of vibes. Plus the mystery element was really intriguing and kept me invested in the story right up until the end. And there are a few little plot twists. I saw some of them coming, but some of them I did not. I was a little surprised. And the second book is out. It's called The Witch Hunt. And I believe this is just a duology. I'm trying to get my hands on the sequel, but I'm struggling to get the audiobook. And audiobooks are how I'm able to get through my books at the pace that I do. So I don't know when I'll get to that sequel, but definitely when I do, I will give you guys an update. Now, tomorrow, we are going to talk about the book I finished last night, which is the Book of Witching by C.J. Cook. I have lots of thoughts about that book. It's got completely different vibes than any book we've talked about so far. Today, I am going to be reading The Curse That Binds, which is the third book in the Bewitched series, and it is a prequel to the other two books. And I got an early copy from NetGalley. Right now, we're going from present timeline back to before the first, you guys know what a prequel is. You guys, peace out. I'm done. This is as good as it gets today. Enjoy your coffee. Happy hump day. Hopefully, tomorrow is a better day and my vlogging goes a little more smoothly. Love you guys so much. See you tomorrow. Bye.